What's up, everybody? You are tuned in with Oriental Renee, and here we are doing another video for 2017. So I would say that I am on a pretty good roll this year, because if you know me, you've been with me from the beginning, then you know I'm not so good with keeping up on, just doing videos. So I'm bringing to you like another what's in my video, because I don't think I've done what's on my iPad Pro. I've done what's on like when I had the iPad 2 and I did an iPad Air. Which both of those were good, but those were just mainly used for college. So I'm out of college. I'm going to show you what I use for my iPad now. So without further ado, let's hop into the video. I wonder if it's still being like the Mardi Gras season. My makeup is a little bit bold today, and I am rocking the Bantu knots, even though it's not Black History Month, but I'm black and I'm natural. As you know, I don't really know how to do the record screen thing. It never really worked for me. I'm going to do screenshots and they'll be right here. So this is just my lock screen here. It is basically, first of all, let me back up. Let's talk about what type of iPad Air Pro I have. Like I said, I have the iPad Pro. It wouldn't be the iPad Pro without the pencil. I definitely highly recommend getting the pencil for the simple fact of it works better. It's easier. Like even with writing, I downloaded an app which you'll see, and I just literally write. But basically, the iPad Pro, I think I end up still sticking with the 64 gigabyte, the same as my iPad Air, which is back there. Actually, I end up giving it to my sister. With this one, this time I just got engraved. It's a little dark on the end. You probably can't see that. I probably can fix it. But it just says, live life and be free. And with that being said, I'm just going to get into it. I'm not going to go over specs because there are plenty of videos out there that will go over the specs for you. Home screen just says, success is sexy, excuses are tacky. And I just got this from Pinterest while I was looking up like different girl boss quotes and stuff like that. So actually getting in, I did use my thumbprint as always. Getting into my actual iPad, this is basically my home screen. It's just a desk. Really, why I chose that, I have no idea. I find motivation in it, to be honest. So that's basically what's there. So on the very first page, just like what's on my iPhone, it just has like your tips and your top apps and Siri suggestions and news and whatever else you want to put in there. We're not going to news. So this is my first page. Of course, I have Weather Channel because actually the iPad doesn't come with the weather app, which is weird. But yeah, I have the Weather Channel just like for my iPad. On my iPhone, I use it to really look at the radar, and it update me when like a storm is coming or if it's about to rain. And then I just have photography, which has like everything. I don't really use the camera on this, to be honest. It has photo booth. I definitely don't use that. I haven't used that since I got my first iPad and we were just playing around back in middle school. Then I got photos and iMovie, and I use iMovie every now and then if I vlog, but other than that, I don't really use iMovie. Here in my productivity folder, it's really everything that I don't use, but it came on the iPad. The only thing, like I was saying, when I use my pencil to write in my apps, I use the stylus app right there. And basically, I'll show you what that does in a minute. But basically, it allows you to like literally write out your words and it'll type it for you. Then here is my stores, which is iTunes and App Store, nothing special. Settings, messages, I have this out of a folder because if my phone is charging and I'm far away from my phone, then I just use my iPad if I'm texting somebody with an iPhone, which I do quite often, especially when I'm like laying down in the bed. And then Ariana Co, this is just my website, so if you haven't, then go check it out because it's pretty awesome. I just uploaded some more videos and just Indeed. So, I was like, my phone's going off. And another blog because I also write blog posts on there as well. Then Camera Connect, which allows me to do live view for my camera to my device, which I'm doing on my phone right now. So I'm not really going to open that. Moving on to the next page. We have games, which is literally just games that I play. I delete and add games just like I do with my iPhone, but the one I play the most is Monopoly. I don't know why, but it is. I play Life when I'm playing with somebody else. I don't really play Life by myself. And I play Spades every now and then. I haven't deleted it because I do go back to it every now and then. And then I have Slither.io, which is literally like a game. You're a worm and you try to eat all these dots, but at the same time not trying to bump into other worms or you're like blow up. And it's pretty addicting and fun. You see how big you can get, see if you can get up to the top charts. Really, it's just basically a fun game overall. Next, getting into my social. I have Tumblr, of course. I love Tumblr on the iPad way more than I love it on the iPhone. It's so much better. I have Facebook because I have my Facebook. I have the group page that I made for my business. And then I have like a Facebook for my friends, you know, if that makes sense. And then I have Twitter. Don't use Twitter at all. Thought about deleting it off my phone and off my iPad, but sometimes I do go back to it just to see, you know, what's popping and whatever. But don't really use it like that. Instagram is what I use the most. I use Instagram the most because, of course, like I said, I have 2 Instagram accounts. One to showcase like all my work, I guess, and then regular, which I've had since going into freshman year of college. Really, I've had that for a long time. But I use it to look at inspiration on there, especially like cameras and how people are taking their photos and, you know, keeping up with how people are presenting their products and stuff, different ways, so I can keep up with the trends and stuff. That's what Instagram should really be used for, keeping up with the trends, which most of the time it is, not keeping up with the Kardashians because nobody cares. But anyways, moving on, I have Studio on here as well as my phone, same thing. You just use it to keep up with your YouTube. You know, which y'all are subscribing to me, so I feel you. Thank you, you know. Next is Snapchat. I'm not going to explain Snapchat. Next is Pinterest. Next, I have Pinterest. I mainly use Pinterest right now for looking at cars because I want a car in the upcoming year. And then just like random stuff, like stuff for visual boards or just inspiration, hair stuff, you know. Anything of that nature, I look to that. And then I have Messenger, which is for Facebook, because lately I have been actually using Messenger more for like if people contact me for like business stuff, because for my Facebook I do go in there and say, hey, looking to take photos of somebody or looking to do logos or anything of that nature, and people will hit me up and tell me what they want. Moving on, we have Apple, which we're just gonna exit back out of that. Then we have entertainment, which is Pandora. Like I said that like it was so exciting, and there's only 3 apps in here. Pandora, which is what I use the most. That's my go-to app. That's my go-to music app, even though I do have Apple Music. And then I have Safari and Google Home because I do have a Chromecast, and I wouldn't mind actually getting the Google Home thingy, you know what I'm talking about. And then we have lifestyle. So with that being said, I have eBay and Amazon, which are shopping apps. As you know, I have Gmail and Yahoo because those are my 2 main mail apps, or they're not even apps, just mail services. And then I have Verizon to keep up with my bill because I am with Verizon. And then I have regular mail. I only use that to keep up with the mail from the iPad. Like, it actually came in handy the other day because for some reason it was saying my card was declined, but I had money on it. So I was like looking around trying to figure out, because I put like 3 different cards in and they were always like, your card is declined, not taken. I was like, I just used these cards, like I just shopped with them. And I was calling to make sure like they weren't blocked. And I came back the next day. I don't know if the Apple store like just had a glitch in the system. I came back the next day and they were working just fine. So, but in the mail it tells me like, okay, this is wrong. This is not working. So it came in handy for that. And plus, stuff from Verizon also comes to that mail, so it'll tell me like if there's a special going on, or if I don't know. I don't use the message. I'm trying to give it some oomph because people don't use the mail. But there, I hope you guys didn't hear that because I just hit the mic. Moving on. PayPal. I use PayPal because this is how I get paid from a lot of things. I now work online basically from home. So I'm typical about putting my actual bank account on there on the website where I can get paid. So I just use PayPal. Also, when I go out and do like video shootings and I get paid for that, PayPal if I don't use Square. So that's what I use PayPal for. Then I have this email app, which I use that over Gmail and Yahoo. And that's really just because it shows me everything from all of my mail services. And if I go in there and I see that I might have subscribed to something, or I was automatically subscribed to something and I don't really care about, it'll show like have a button at the top, and it'll be like you can just hit unsubscribe, and it'll unsubscribe from all of those your mailing list basically. Alright, and moving on. I'm sorry if I'm going a little bit fast, but I'm tired of all my videos being like 20 minutes, and every time when I edit, I don't know what to take out because I feel like everything is valuable. But the iPad shouldn't really be that long because I only use my iPad for certain things. Boom. Back to the iPad. I have books, which is the Holy Bible, and then Yumbly. I have featured Yumbly both times, and this is like a cookbook basically. You can go in there, upload your own editions of a food dish, or you can look at someone else's, and it's great because it gives you a variety of different ways to cook it. I think the last time I used it was to cook squash, and I still up like cooking squash on my own terms, figuring out what's what, but it gave me an idea of what the squash should look like. Because I went to Golden Corral, short story, I went to Golden Corral and I was like, they got squash. I've never had squash before, even though I'm from the South. I know, weird. But I tried it and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of good. It don't really have a taste to it. It needs some salt, but it's good. So when I got home, like a couple of days later, I told my granddad to go get us some squash. Because that's what I went to Golden Corral with, and I ended up making it. What I messed up on is I didn't realize that squash would soak up so much seasoning, but it was still good. It was just a little bit spicy because I don't know what my camera just did. I basically put like hot spices on my food. I don't know, I like Cajun food. But moving on, that was just a short story. Education, I have Word, which I don't even know why I still have this folder. But I have Word, I have Celtic script because I have written a script. I don't mind writing more scripts. Celtic is just the best app in my opinion, because it already is basically like almost like a template, but not really. You go in there and you add your own little features. So if you're like into like mass media, writing scripts, TV shows, anything else, I definitely advise you to check out Celtic script. And then I have Pretty Calculator, which I have featured this before. It's just really a pretty calculator. It's on my phone too. And then I have Duolingo, and I have been trying to learn French for I don't know how long, and I really haven't got that far, to be honest. But it is here, and those are, I don't know, I'm learning. I click on it every now and then and try to learn to see what I can remember. It just has to be something repetitive that I have to do so I can, you know, remember stuff. I have A Note, which I've also featured this before. This is basically, I'm going to go to a different one. This is basically what I use to write down YouTube ideas. My phone is ringing. This is what I basically do to write down YouTube ideas, blog ideas, if I budget, because I was budgeting back in July. As you can see. And I have goals, wish list, to-do list, apartment. But I don't look at this too much anymore, just for the simple fact that this is not a great app to use my pencil with. So alright, moving on to Procreate. I use this to draw, even though I cannot draw, but basically what I do is if I have an idea, like something like for a logo idea and things of that, then I will basically draw in here and try to like recreate it in Adobe Illustrator or something like that. Like, I'll tell you one of my logo ideas coming up soon. I basically want to take this here, this Pisces. It looks so like it's spelled wrong, but I checked it and it's spelled right. But I want to take Pisces, and I recently seen this idea where it was intertwined with another word. So what I want to do is have it say Pisces season and have Pisces kind of 3D intertwining with season in the background. If you want, I'm gonna do that soon just because it is March 1st and Pisces season started like last week, I think. But March 1st to me starts Pisces season just because my birthday is in March. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Check out my Instagram or my website because I will be posting both of them there if it turns out really nice, which hopefully I am. So yeah, this is a great idea if you do draw or have ideas like I do, then you can go in here. I also have, like, if I want to work on, I have a logo for an idea for my logo just itself for YouTube. And so whenever I make that, because I was supposed to make that, but when it comes to my stuff, I'm quite lazy. But when I work for other people, I don't know, I guess I need to take care of myself first. But yeah, that's just the insight in Procreate. So moving on to these 3 apps that I have outside of the boxes. I have Oriental and Rain because I use these at night and most of the times at night, that's when my mind comes alive, but I've usually been up the whole day. So I usually used to kind of like calm my nerves and like go to sleep and stuff like that. I'll actually sample something right quick. This is not the one I listen to, but these are kind of, I was using these for for yoga as well. But this is the one I like the most. And let me see if I can turn that up. Yeah, so I pretty much use that one the most, but I also don't mind going into the Rain app. And what I use the most is the thunderstorms. And you can combine them. Alright, so that's what I basically use those for. Like, just if I cannot sleep, which is basically every day of the week, of every month of the year. So, moving on, I do have Kindle. Don't mind some of my books here because they will shock you. I have Seduction, which, as you can see, I've read 2 books so far. I think they're like 5 books. And yes, it is a romantic, like, sex book, but it is a really, really great book. Highly recommend it. It's it has a lot of different twists in it. Like, you would think, okay, it's just like your average like sex book, but it's not. It like, oh, I don't even want to ruin it. Like, it is so good. Like, I could probably just, I can do one of those book videos where I talk about the book and what it is. But I'm currently reading Girl Boss, which I said I would. It's on 27%. I don't want to make this a race thing, but I am. I don't know, like, if it's just me. One, I don't even care about fashion or whatever, but Girl Boss isn't like as exciting as people were making it out to be to me. And I heard another black girl say it before, and I think it's like maybe a race thing. Like, we can't relate. I am still trying to read it, but I'm just struggling to keep the interest. But it's not as exciting as I thought it would be. But with that being said, I am gonna read it because I buy this book. I probably paid like $7.99. And then I'm going to move on to my other 2 books that I would like to read, you know, in the upcoming future. Perfect Shade, I don't read that. I don't even know why that's there. I think it was a free book, and I was just like, okay. It says I have a visitor on my website from DE. Okay. And then I have something else called Death at Dinner. And it's supposed to be a cookbook. I haven't read it yet because I want to finish reading The Seduction and The Girl Boss before I start another book, because I don't want to be reading 3 books at one time. Moving on to Ariana Co. This is basically the brand that I'm trying to create. I have different stuff in here. Scanbot, I'm not going to open that because I haven't quite used it yet. It's just like if I'm on the go and I have something to scan, like a document, and I need to send it off to a customer or a client, and for them to review, they can do that. Kind of the same thing with Auto, but with Auto, they can send it back to me and it can be signed. Point of sale, if I have to use that Square, I do have a Square thing somewhere, I don't know. And you know, like when you go to a shop that's like own business and you just swipe your card with the little square piece at the end, basically it's like that. Evernote, link in between my phones. I've already shared what I do with Evernote. AJC is the newspaper. GoodNote, this is what I use the most for my pencil because I can make my own journals, my own categories. I can set them up the way I want to. I love this app. As you can see, I have YouTube blog ideas. I have content creator notes, which is when I see like I'm on YouTube or I'm on Pinterest and I see like a tutorial or something that I might want to try out, I go in and I take notes like I'm back in school. Stuff is just literally stuff. Like if I have something on my mind, I jot it down. Business notes, anything that I want to acquire with my business, if something happens with my business, if I feel like I need something for my business, it goes down in there. And then goals, literally my goals. And with my goals book, I have everything written out from the whole year. Even though it might not be something there, but I've literally made like a calendar or a bullet journal for the whole year. So yeah, that's pretty much that. With it, you still need to have pretty handwriting because, as you can see, I don't have pretty handwriting at all. I've never had pretty handwriting, but I'm pretty, so it makes up for it. Moving on, I have Google Drive, which is basically self-explanatory. I use this since I've been in college, and I'm going to continue to use it because I think it's a great app to not only in between devices, but in between other people as well. And I don't know if you can hear that. They would start like freaking doing stuff when I'm doing stuff. Alright, moving on. Dropbox, same thing. Exchanging things between devices and other people. And then LinkedIn. It's not on my phone, but it's on my iPad because I use it from time to time to check on people, see what they're doing. Classmates, and of course jobs, and of course I love anything with technology, new tech. So I use that for that. And then my last folder, and we are at 23 minutes because that's just who I am. We have Adobe, which I have like Photoshop, Adobe Draw, Photoshop Fix, Adobe Sketch, Adobe Clip, and Lightroom. These are all self-explanatory. I don't really use these that much because I usually just open up my photo, and I really hope you can still hear me. I really just open up my computer and use those apps there. But if I do want to use my pencil, then I'll go in here, you know, and use it. Alright, and then at the bottom, I have Netflix and Hulu, self-explanatory. I have calendar, which let me show you my calendar real quick. This is basically my calendar. It's a little blank right now because I fill in as the week goes. But if I have something for that month, it looks actually... It's a lot more in my iPad calendar than it is with my actual notebook. And it is kind of color-coded between work, home, and just filming or blogging, as you can see. And then I have Apple Music, or music, but I have Apple Music within the music app. And then I have Chrome, because I use that. I like that better than Safari, like who doesn't? And then of course I have YouTube, which, you know, that's self-explanatory as well. Alright, so with that being said, that is done. I tried to put this under 20 minutes, but it is not under 20 minutes because, you know, it's me. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I'm going to try to get this up to you in like 2 days, if not. And stay tuned. I do have a Amazon Echo review. I did an unboxing, but that unboxing like sucked. So with that being said, I will talk to you guys later.